Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Saturday. It is November the 9th, 2019. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Excellent card today from Aqueduct. We have I'm gonna look at all the stakes races, all conveniently packed into an all stakes pick 3, shall we say. And it's beginning of the pick 4, which begins off with the race number 7, the first race we're going to look at. And I think you can make some money, so let's get to it. I also think I believe there's a carryover in the pick 4, because the late pick 4 yesterday didn't get hit. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the early pick 4, or does it carry to the late pick 4. I'm not sure how those rules work, but with that being said, you could definitely make money with this Aqueduct card, so go play it. I think that's the good thing about all the races here in the East Coast not running on turf anymore. All those racetracks that aren't running on turf, all those horses are coming to New York to run here at Aqueduct, and the field sizes are great, and it's just some very exciting races. So let's get to the stakes action. Races 7, 8, 9. The 7th race, it's a rescheduled race from Belmont's closing day. That feels like 10 years ago, but it was almost 2 weeks ago now. But the 7th race, it's the Pumpkin Pie Stakes, purse $100,000, race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the main track, the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs. The top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, Philanthropic. I'm going to go 1756 in the superfecta, 1756 super. Top selection, 1 horse, Philanthropic. There's 3 filly by Malibu Moon. Jason Service trains Artie Jr. gets the mount. To begin the pick 4, I'm actually going to single this horse. I think you can find 2 singles in this pick 4 sequence. But the top selection, 1 horse, Philanthropic. Gary Mary West Owens, Jason Service trains, blah blah blah. Artie gets the mount. The horse's most recent out came the 15th of September at Monmouth. 6 furlongs off 16 claimer. First off a 2-month refreshing. The horse won by 5 lengths that day. He stalked, he got the lead, and then he took off clear. He wasn't the favorite. He was bent to the ground, but he wasn't the favorite. But he still ran like a favorite. He ran like a favorite should do. Quickened up nice, an all-around great race. Before that, he ran the 16th of June at Monmouth, 6 furlongs in a main special weight 4-2000. First of start of the year, first start off the long break. He won by 3 3/4 lengths. He only had 3 other rivals, but again, 60 cents of the dollar. He just took off clear. He's had 2 very easy races so far this season. It does scare me coming to stakes company for the first time. And, much tougher, it's going to be a much tougher race. But like I said, I don't think they got underneath the horse yet, and I think he's going to be very fit to win against these ones. If you look at his races last year as a 2-year-old, she ran quite well. She had a decent few 4th-place finishes at Churchill and Keeneland. You don't say that very often, but I thought she ran decently on the 15th of November at Churchill. And then she had a very nice place at Ellis in her debut behind Champagne Anyone, who's a very good horse. But she's been training well. I'm going to give her a shot here, 2-1. Like I said, I think she's a very logical single. So to recount my selections for the 7th from Aqueduct, it's the Pumpkin Pie. Let's go with the 1 horse, Philanthropic. I'm going to go 1756 in the superfecta. Race number 8 from Aqueduct now. Great race again. It's the Artie Schiller Stakes, purse $150,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 13 horses entered, but keep in mind the 2, the 6, and the 13 are all main track onlys. So we'll be down to a field of 10 horses going to the inner turf course. The distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on that inner turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile. And keep in mind, Friday into Saturday, the temperature at night is going to get down to below freezing. Here in New York City, it's going to get down to like 28 degrees. So, the turf course might be running a little weird today, shall we say. With that being said, my top selection in a single to pick 4, and my best bet of the afternoon, it's going to be the 5 horse, Curlin's Honor. I'm going to go 5-10-4-7 in the superfecta. 5-10-4-7 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Curlin's Honor. 4-year-old colt by Curlin here. Mark Cassie trains. Joel Rosario gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came the 6th of October at Woodbine. Mile 16th, inner turf course, and opposite 6-2 claimer. Stepping down of loads of class at 55 cents a dollar. He got the job done, winning by 1 3/4 lengths. He sat back early. He got a great turn of foot, and he got the job done. It was a very good run. Before that, he ran the Bold Venture handicap at Woodbine, the 6.5 furlongs, September the 14th on the Tapeta. He finished 3rd by length. And again, he was closing up well, a little bit wide, but he ran a terrific race there. Probably not the best trip he likes. And then the Play King Stakes at Woodbine, 7 furlongs on the EP Taylor, 24th of August, finished third by 2 lengths. Again, he sat back early. He had a great turn of foot. I thought he ran a terrific race. This race is loaded up with speed. This horse is drawn well, and I think he'll get a good trip from the inside. And I think he'll, he can run a good race. He's won only once this year, but like I said, he's always showed up in his races in Canada. He placed in the Connor Cup, placed in the King Edward. His only one subpar race actually came here at Aqueduct, but that was on the dirt. It was in the Stymie, going the 1 mile trip where he finished 7 by 11 1/4 lengths. He was just wide throughout and hit the wall. Who would have thought in March the Stymie would have produced a British Cup Classic winner with the Vito Rosso? But who would have thought 10 years ago a Stymie winner would go on to win the British Cup Classic? I know I would have, but that was the only horse. That was the only race this year this horse ran a subpar effort. Like I said, I think you're going to see a good pace in this one. I think it's going to suit up for him at 10-1. Best by the day. Single him in the multis. So to recount my selection for the 8th from Aqueduct, Artie Schiller, let's take the 5 horse Curlin's Honor. I'm going to go 5-10-4-7 in the superfecta. That was 5-10-4-7 super. Now let's get to the 9th race from Aqueduct, which is a very difficult race. The 9th race, it's the Atlantic Beach Stakes purse, $100,000 race for 2-year-olds here. We have a field of 14 horses entered, but 13 and 14 are also eligible, so 12 will go. The distance of ground of 1,200 meters, with a 6 furlong trip on the old inner track, which is now the outer turf course. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. And very difficult race here. I'm going to go with the number 5 horse. The number 5 horse, who is Free Wheeler. I'm going to go 5-8-6-4 in the superfecta. 5-8-6-4 super. If you're going to play in the multi-race, I would go 4 deep here because it's just a so random race. But the top selection will take the 4 horse Free Wheeler. 2-year-old colt by City Zip. Top Fletcher trains. I Run a Tease Jr. gets the mount. The blinkers on here, so going to be a little bit more forwardly placed. The horse's most recent outing came the 6th of October at Belmont. 6 furlongs in the Grade 3 Surety. The horse finished second by 3 lengths behind 4-wheel drive, won to win the British Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint very nicely. But this horse, he didn't break all that well, which is happening a lot with the Tom Pletcher first-time starters in the last few seasons. But he recovered late. He isn't there in a foot. He wasn't going to catch 4-wheel drive, who had just a jump on him. But I thought this horse ran a terrific place. It's kind of cool that a Futurity winner went on to win a British Cup race. The Futurity at Belmont, in years past, before they moved it to the turf, you thought the race was going to get, it was going to go down the tubes, but when they moved it to the turf with the new British Cup Turf Sprint, Juvenile Turf Sprint race, the Futurity got a new lease on life, and it wouldn't surprise me in a few years if you see that race get back to its Grade 1 glory. But this horse, like I said, ran a good place behind the winner that day after a horrible beginning. Before that, the horse ran against Staperets in main special weight at Saratoga, 5.5 on the Melon. He won by 5 1/4 lengths there, and again, he didn't break all that well, which is a theme with the Pletcher horses, but he went to the lead after stalking, and then he just took off clear. That was a very good final quarter for him there, and he won nicely at the end, but he has to break well. Hopefully the blinkers on today help break well. He's drawn a little bit better than his last few starts. 7-2, let's take him here. Like I said, this is a very random race. It wouldn't surprise me if you see the 8 horse and Bolden run a good race also. Another horse coming out of the Futurity. He ran a little bit of a wide trip that day, but he was closing up a little bit late. But before then, he won the Jamestown Colonial very nicely and broke the main at Colonial very nicely. He's going to be a little bit of a horse that's going to be forwardly placed. And 9-2 will use him. Like I said, the 6 horse here turned aside. Linda Rice trains this one. This horse has always been running in these turf sprints and has been running very good. Stepping up in class for winners for the first time. That's 8-1. It wouldn't surprise me if you see her late. And I also think the 4 horse Jack and Noah for Mark Cassie. This is another horse coming into this race well. Another horse coming out of that Futurity. Only had 6 horses, but the only few horses that are not coming out of the Futurity is the winner. Basically, 4-wheel drive, went on to win a British Cup race. But this horse, he ran well in the Futurity. Going to come back here, I think, at 6-1. Also a very likely winner, but I think the likeliest winner of the 4 of them will be my top selection, Free Wheeler, so we'll take him. But to recap my selection for the 9th from Aqueduct, it's the Atlantic Beach. Let's take the 5 horse Free Wheeler. We'll go 5-8-6-4 in the superfecta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingCat5. Good luck, everybody.